Alright, here we go. Okay, we should be live now. Alright. Well, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of I try and make Visualized, or it's also called This Game, and I try and bring it to good old Game Builder Garage, which is more easier said than done because if you watched last week's episode, you know very well that yeah, this game is 2D, and Game Builder Garage is predominantly a 3D platform, so it's a bit of a problem when you have to deal with converting this into a 2D thing, but, you know, it's a bit of a thing. Now, I'm hoping for this to be kind of simpler to deal with. If you watched last week's episode, if you haven't, well, go watch it first. But if you did watch last week's episode, you know that we got a little far. We tried to, we actually got as far as this. In fact, let me just show this up, this little bit. I don't know how loud that's gonna get out. This stuff's gonna get on cam because I don't know what's with my mixing board today, but yeah, this is where we're at right now. So we've got the slight bit of infinite going down, but you see it's not that great because you still got this little trail system thing, and yeah, the sky just falls, and because of that the grass falls with it, and this is just a completely chaotic and messed up system, and I would like to fix that one. And our first order of business is to resize and basically rebuild these little guardrail things that I put back here towards the end of last episode. And the reason why I had these things down there is just so I could actually, just so this stuff could stay where it is and not fall, because we do have to consider structures, especially if we're going with moving boxes like this one, which have to move in order to basically get the effect that we want, because in the end of the day, the boxes that make up the sky in this little thing are going to be are going to become a problem because they're going to move as well, but I have not gotten to implementing that. Furthermore, I did actually kind of look over the footage of the last episode, and I did kind of start thinking of a concept and a way to basically get it to work with a person node on, rather than just a moving box like it was in the past. I'm hoping to do it with a person node on instead of the original box like we had it, because that was just a problem, because it's not gridlocked like the node on or the person node on, where it's like real easy to control, and sometimes gravity is less harsh to that than anything else at this point. But we'll keep the moving boxes for the moving objects for everything else, though, like the ground and the sky system, because I think I liked how those work, because those worked pretty well. And I think I also figured out a slight solution to that, to the problem where we get gaps in the middle of the terrain. In fact, if we return to the original game, you'll notice that obviously no gaps nowhere, so we've kind of got to figure that one out. So yeah, but I think I've got a bit of a solution that we might save for later. And yeah, so let's kind of get right into this kind of stuff. So yeah, now here we are with all the boxes moved, and there we go. Now you see the sky. If you notice the bands on the screen, that's mostly a bit of a capture card error, and you'll notice that the bands are the switch trying to shade everything. Of course, it all falls apart when the ground blocks come in, and that's mostly because of the little gap we've got that gets somehow created by the thing. What we're also going to do is we're going to move the boxes so they're basically rubbing up against everything. Because, yeah, that's a bit of a problem in and of itself. And we'll also kind of move things in a little bit further because, yeah, we're now in a bit more of a precise area to where we could just move it in like that. And if it would let me just select all of these things at once, nope, you have to be all in like that. Well, but yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to move things in a little bit, so this way we'll get it to work. And if we have to, we'll put in like little segments that'll just stay there, kind of. Again, we kind of want to be as like we kind of want it to be a little gapless. So there we go. And we'll just fix that. And yeah. So there we go. It's all rubbing up against our little guardrail system now. As you can see, the box is trying to move it and push the little box into the other thing. And because of that, we're just going to destroy it. Obviously. Because I feel like we can get it a little easier with the person node on for now, and what we'll do is we'll make it where it hides this node on, and basically makes it a little easier for us to program these things in. Unfortunately, this is a limitation of Game Builder Garage at this point, because like most of the things here, because we're also trying to go for a 2D look in the end of that, and I kind of don't know how we're going to get to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook in the jump signal, and we'll see how that acts. And it's also facing in the wrong direction, which will not help us in any way, shape, or form when we get things going here. So there we go. So yeah, I'm also going to, let me just set this to be a, we'll just set this to be a nice light blue, so this way you could actually see this. And currently, as it stands, it kind of sticks there like it's a conveyor belt, and just goes away. And we kind of don't want that, obviously, so we're going to probably put in a small bit of a thing where it'll do a thing, I guess. And yeah. Also, we're going to set the position speed to nothing because we don't need to move at all. And we'll set our forward backward to kind of be with like how it was in the past. And of course, now we're kind of getting destroyed by the sky at this point, so that's a bit of a weird one. So I think what the problem is that our jump height is a lot higher than we need. Yeah, again, if we go into a lot of these things. So we're going to just half that jump strength. There we go. Let's just reduce that further. So it's like strong enough for most of the enemies we have in the game. And yeah, and there we go. Okay, that's good enough. Unfortunately, I don't know why it's doing that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these, we're going to put in some invisible walls into here. So visible, yep, that's disabled. Good, so we've already got an invisible little guardrail thing here. So I'm going to put that in front of at least this side. So this way, this can be like locked to the second dimension at this point. So how are we going to do that? Like that. There we go. Wide as we can get it. Fair enough. And let's do this thing. Okay. There we go. Right there. It's like... And it destroys the box because we did not give it enough of a gap. I love how Game Builder Garage just destroys everything when it just destroys precision when you zoom out. That's just weird and stuff. Right, and now currently it is not doing anything because it is not even a wall yet. It is literally just a little segment or whatever the hell it is. And there you go. Very tall wall now. And there you go. We try and double jump. And, okay, we could still kind of break the game, but I think we could fix a lot of that. We could fix some of these game-breaking glitches. Also, another further fix I'm thinking about. Let's see. I think we could also do with making it not solid. I think we'll also destroy this thing. We'll just make it a straight up inversion. This way it's not... This way it's like equal to that. So yeah, there we go. That looks nice. Fortunately, it's kind of like... That's weird, because I guess the speed of -1 doesn't really correspond with the speed of the person node on, so that's going to be a bit of a change we got to make. So constant 2, we're going to get rid of that because I think we did good there. We might have to wire it into its own constant. In fact, I think we'll just wire it into its own constant, so this way we could change that depending on how we can modify it, because as you can see, it's still kind of easily resisted by the little conveyor system we have going there, and I kind of don't like how that is, so we're gonna make that like, I'm thinking of 1.1. I don't want it to be where we input so much it just drifts away, so I'm thinking, so yeah, I'm gonna probably go with a 1. Also, it didn't go, so that would probably be a thing. But also, we could just mod this to be having a higher movement speed. So let's see. 1.1. Not really. So it does have a multiplier system already inside of it, so that'll be pretty good, I guess. So 1.3. So I think this is like a maximum, so let me just try something here. So if I go to 1.2, yeah, it's still too slow, but if I set the constant to 1.2, we should have a case of, it should be like real fast now. It's a bit weird. Okay, so we go for 1.2. Right, so let me just try a 1.5, because it's like it's being being at half speed. And let's try this. So let's go back to 1. Just 1. There we go. And it's still resisting, but it's a little slower to do the thing. The thing is, we just want it to retain its spot, so it's, you know, like right with everything else. So let's try a faster speed, like 2. That'll be pretty good. We don't really need to worry about speed or anything, or like anything past like normal. Like, oh, there we go. That's kind of perfect. It's a little weird. It's still being easily pushed back, and I just can't get into that kind of thing in general. So I think we need to try out a lot more. And 2, we're gonna We're also going to make this back to a normal 1, because we'll see how that is, because it's a little it's being quickly reduced. So let's try other speeds, like 3. Okay, there we go. 4. Once it gets into a thing, it kind of just moves. Even try things like 10. Okay, it's not drifting. Well, it's drifting a little bit, kind of slowly. I'm thinking of also putting on 0 gravity, so it's like let's see, jump strength should be like we'll bring back jump strength. Size, we're gonna make it a little bit smaller. So there we go. And we're also going to figure out how we can get it to work with this grass stuff, because it's just weird. What I might also do that probably might work is I'll have a box that can only really move on, I think the y-axis will do. Otherwise, it's unmovable, it can't be destroyed, it's not really solid, nor is it visible, so it's just a nothing burger at this point. But what we're going to do is we're going to make it where it's 0 gravity, and we're going to attach it to our person node but we're going to do that through a connector. So we're going to go with a Y slide, so we can basically jump, but we're still locked to our position. So there we go. We're not drifting. I think we found a perfect solution. There's our solution there. So we're free to move on the y-axis, which is what we want. We can't drift on X or Z. So I think we've got a solution here. Okay. So we're good on that. We can just revert everything to 1 and nothing will be different. In fact, I don't think we even need this moving constant at all, because at the end of the day, it's not going to move at all, and its movement attempts will be weak, and it'll also be hidden, because later on in this series, we're going to basically hide its assets. We're going to hide it behind some assets that I have plans to kind of make. So I think we've got that pretty well squared away. One last thing a couple last things I'm going to do before I end the stream, however, is I am going to basically add in a score counter, which should be real easy. If I go back to visualized, okay, that is a 9,000, it's about a 100,000 count thing. It's 5 digits from the original. Let me get back here so you can see what I'm going about. So we programmed all of our stats to basically be 5-digit displays. So right, so similarly in GBG, what we're going to do is we're going to have special objects. We're going to have 2 of these. Let's configure this one before we clone over. So we're going to make it a 5 digits. We're not going for floating points, so we can relieve our decimal at 0. Text display side, we'll judge that when we get there. Let's see. Properties, visible, solid, movable. Oh, we're going to remove all the properties except solid. We'll see if visible changes transparency, because I'd like for this to be very transparent. And yeah, there's our coin thing. So there's that. Okay. Is this like right outside the game screen? Yes, it is. Okay. That would fix a few errors. Yeah, that's way out of the game screen. We might have to size that down. Alright, let's also check, here. Okay, so we're gonna really size this down. And I'm also gonna make it where I'm probably also gonna put in a, yeah, I'm probably gonna put in, a bit of a texture that's just blank. So this way, we're gonna, so this way it acts hidden when it's not hidden at all. So bring back visible, and we're just off by a bit. Let's just move it in here. There we go. Oh, still not enough apparently. Right. And I love how Game Builder Garage is trying to 3Dify things, even though I said no to that. And so yeah, let's see, what does visible do? Oh, even better. Okay, so visible, so turning off visible actually does improve things by a long shot. And similarly, we're going to do the same thing with coins, and we're going to go yellow text on that thing. Let's see if disconnecting our texture will do it. We'll change things. We'll have this as like a test color. No, we'll keep that as auto. We have to leave for that. We need to get to a yellow text because, you know, coins. Okay, so we do need, so it picks up on the fact that we don't have a texture attached to it, so it won't go transparent unless we have the texture. Okay, that's a bit of a problem there. So yeah, there we go. We have both counters. We have coins and we have just score. We can't program coins yet. We could easily do it, but we can't really yet. And so what we're going to do, in fact, we might actually program the basis of that in, because Game Builder Garage actually does have a coin asset we can use. Counter, and we're going to have the counter set to count up based on this little thing. I'm going to say we're just going to have the normal constant, so it's just a 1, and our number is this object. Let's see. Oh, we're also going to put in a let's see, we're also going to put in a bit of a system to basically have a title screen, so that'll be, so we're going to just, so we're going to do comparisons. Let's see. So let's see, convert program layout. Let's see. I need an AND gate. Logic. And so might not work really. I'll just exploit multiplication like I did many times in the flight sim, where I multiply it going up. So this way it's more constant friendly, and for now we'll duplicate things here. So we have this one constant here. In fact, I'll actually put in a flag that's, in fact, it's going to be on a flag, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that set there, and we're going to have that hooked into a 1 constant, so this way it's on forever, and everything's being multiplied by 1. So let's see how that looks. Now, where I have a problem though is if we go back to good old visualized, as you can see, the counter's not going every frame, maybe like every 2-3 frames, assuming we're running at 60 FPS here. Yeah, if we return back to here, we're gonna make this 0.5. This is why I kind of had it on a separate thing. So let's see, a little slower. Didn't even go. I don't like how this is. It's like I thought I pressed the OK button, which meant do that. There we go. So it's a little better. So let's see. Still a little fast. So I think we're gonna bring this to like 0.25 because we want this to be kind of realistic. Because basically each point in visualized is a meter. So in fact, if we go back, let's count it. I should have like, I wish I had like a frame counter-y kind of thing. But yeah, a little bit of, but yeah, let's go back here, and that's a little fast. I think we'll do with like a 0.2. It's a tad faster, but we're getting to the speed of, like, we're getting to a speed which we're okay with. So let's see, 0.2. There we go. I think this'll do. 0.6, yeah, that'll do just fine. Alright, so I think this is a good bit of stopping point, I'd say. Yeah, I quite like how this turned out. So the basic concepts, the core concepts are in. We just need to figure out how to get it to get enemies in, which I think we'll probably do here. So we'll launch object, and the big problem is that it's just going to do things like, so the big problem is that we're trying to launch things, but we're trying to launch enemies in this case. I might use the fact that there's only like 1 or 2 enemies in the first stage of visualized, which is what we're going to emulate in this version. We're not going to go too advanced, and we're going to go with a different random timer. However, we could do that. So this way, when it gets to a random number, it's a bit weird that, let's see, we're going to duplicate this block because we want it to be random. And we're going to just, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it wait every second. So let's see. Flag, counter, random, timer. So here we go. We'll have a timer, I guess. So let's see, output after here, how many seconds. So let's see, will this work? Alright, let's see. So we get a random, the output, let's have a constant. So there we go. And now we have a system that will tick every second. And that will generate random. That will tell it to launch. We'll tell this one to launch a cylinder, so we can tell what's going down. But yeah, there we go. I don't see anything yet. It's just a bit concerning that. Let's see. Let's bring this a little closer to the player and not like kind of there. In fact, I might just move this entire bit of code around. So it's like, so it kind of goes down the conveyor a little. So this way it looks a little nicer, even though the code already looks like a train wreck already, because I have not even figured it out yet. Alright. Also, yeah, we need to figure some things out. Okay, so that's on a constant generator kind of thing. And there we go. And we're gonna tie it to the same clock. Right. Yeah, nothing's really happening here. I don't quite like that. So here we go. Big problem is that it's like we need a launch speed that's like, we need a launch speed and a launch interval that's like okay, because we don't want to launch it. Also, we're launching it into the wrong dimension because we want it on X minus and not Z plus, which would be a huge problem in our case. So there we go. We should be getting pelted by boxes now, which like to get stuck on things. Right. So let's launch smaller objects. I think this is how you get a smaller box and a smaller cylinder in general. Let's see if it's actually possible to like make it launch this specific way. So there we go. Okay, let's see. We shouldn't be launching these things. We should be just gently bringing them into existence. Unfortunately, this is the only method to do it, and it's a very flawed one. Well, there you go. There's an enemy. Unfortunately, there's a lot of these. This is just odd. Okay. And to make the, and let's make the person node on actually die for these things, and yeah. Okay, so here we go, and we're practically done for today, and that looks, and let's see, and boom, we break. Okay, so now our last order of business at this point is to make the random seed more of like a hard 1 or a 0. Okay, so this way we can make it like just like that, and we'll do a while not, and yep, there we go. And let's just make this good. Alright, let's see. So this should reduce the frequency so we can make it a little easier to jump around things. So let's see, here we go. And I think the enemies got held up in the random generation. Ooh, that's looking good. Alright. And we die. Good. So yeah. Alright, so I think I'm gonna leave this off here because it's turned out pretty good. So yeah, we're gonna probably in the next episode we're probably gonna deal with getting things to, we're kind of gonna deal with bug fixing, getting a title screen and game over screen in, We've already got the basics for it done in this one. Maybe in the upcoming episodes we will get the I'm gonna say we're gonna get the textures in through a bit of an interesting method that I read up on. It's gonna involve an Arduino, a very special Arduino. I'm gonna have to order that, so that's gonna be a thing. So yeah, it's gonna be it for today's video. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to play the actual version of Visualized, you know, not this garbage version, whatever it is, you know, this actual version that is like that we're actually desperate for playtesters on, you know, go ahead and go down in the description. There's a bit of a small Google Drive link where you can download like a version for like literally every OS for PC at this point. So yeah, you know, PC, Mac, Linux, we've got a version for all of them. Some of them aren't good, some are actually pretty good. Like the Linux and Windows versions are absolutely beautiful if you have it. And Mac is just a bit weird. But anyways, yeah, go pick up Visualized, leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, it's going to be it for today's video.